following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Gozilla Media. I'm Ryan McCarthy, one of the co-hosts. To my right is a man who's adding another nemesis to his list, to his ever-growing nemesis list. And that man is Angel Hernandez, Dustin Henry. Dustin, how are we doing tonight?
Good evening, sir. I'm doing better than Angel Hernandez because I am competent at my job, and I think most of America would agree with me. Most of America who watches baseball, Angel Hernandez, he needs to stop trying to make the game about himself. It's ridiculous. It's most blatant display. Every baseball fan knows about it. And when people know your name as an umpire, it's usually not for good reasons. But enough about him. How are you tonight, sir? You have fresh returned from the solar eclipse of the park. Hall of Fame comment.
The total eclipse of the park. Yeah, I'm a little tired actually. I got in. I actually got in this morning. I'm actually kind of glad they moved the game from 2:05 to 6:05 instead of 7:05, because if it was 7:05, I would still be on the road. Well, not necessarily on the road, but I would have been back home later. I got home around 20 after midnight, which ain't too bad. So, but a little tired. I got up at my usual time this morning. And I felt fine. I felt great. Went to work out. Got myself some lunch. Then I signed into work. And about 2 hours in, I'm like, oh, I am dragging ass. So needless to say, even with 2 energy drinks in me, I'm a little. Tonight's show might not be as. I'm gonna try to keep myself hyped up as best as I can. But if you see me nodding off, feel free to yell at me. But
all right,
we're gonna get started on tonight's episode. But before we do that, just want to remind you about our social channels, which are right down here: Twitter, Instagram, and the occasionally used TikTok at NoCredsREQ, Facebook.com/NoCredsREQ, YouTube.com/@NoCredsREQ. If you would do us a favor, like, comment, share, and subscribe to all of our social media channels right down here below. If you're watching tomorrow on Rumble, we appreciate it. And those of you turning live on American Angel Radio, Wednesdays at 8 a.m., which is going to be this telecast is going to be on. We appreciate you tuning in. Also, just want to remind you about our the podcast side. If you want to subscribe to the podcast on a myriad of podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you podcast, rate and review. A 5-star rating would be very helpful. And also, if you're on a platform where you can where you can review, please leave a review. You might even read it on the air. And because we're a live show, we want you to engage with us. We want your comments. And this is going to wake me right up. I'm just going to go ahead and play the magical comment sound. All right. So we're going to get things started quickly here. We're talking about Major League Baseball. We're talking about teams off to a really hot start right now. And we've got the standings currently. It's not teams. We got in first place in the American League East, the New York Yankees at 9-2. The Guardians lead the AL Central. 9-3. So, Dustin, out of these 4 teams, all right. So Dustin had to pop out for a second. Might be having some technical difficulty, but we're going to bring him back in. Not sure if you're able to hear me now, Dustin, but
yes, I am. I heard that you were about to address me right but I kept hearing pops, and I'm like, is that on my end or his? I'm adjusting my cord over here, but we're live, and I can hear you now. So
hey, all right.
And I think it might be time to sunset my old MacBook, maybe get myself something, or get myself another one. I've had this one since 2019, but I did not hear the question that you were about to ask me. You were talking about hot starts.
Yeah, teams are off to a hot start. I mentioned Yankees, first place in the American East. I mentioned the Guardians, who are currently in first place in the AL Central. They're at 8-2. Yankees are at 9-2. And at 9-3, atop the NL Central is the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I was asking one of these 3 teams see it as the season goes on. And we can't forget the Dodgers. We can't forget the Dodgers, who are 9-4 at a very lackluster National League East. But 3 teams, Yankees division.
Well, the Yankees division is going to be a tough division to win because they're going to have to contend with the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays offense is not going to scuffle the way that it has started the season. It'll eventually pick up, and there's no way that the Yankees offense is going to be able to keep up the pace that they've started the season with. They're off to a hot start. The pitching is holding up pretty well. Nestor Cortez, you saw it live yesterday. He looked amazing in that game. Yep. I was watching some of it at the bowling alley.
He did.
And I refuse to be swept up into the Pirates again. So I guess by de facto, I'm gonna go with the Guardians, because we have to see what happens when the Dodgers face some real contenders. And I get it; it's early in the season. We don't know who those contenders are. But despite the fact that Shane Bieber went down to Tommy John, which is something that I would like to discuss a little later because it's becoming a thing. I'm going to have to go with the Guardians. But my gut reaction as a homer, as a fan, I want to say the New York Yankees, but their division is going to be tough. The offense is going to come back to earth, and I don't know how well the pitching is going to be able to hold up with everything, until Garrett Cole comes back and everything else. So I think the Yankees division is too tough. I think it's the Guardians. What about you, sir?
Man, I hate when we agree on stuff.
I know, because there's a part of me that wants to say the Pirates. I wish no ill will against the Pirates, but it's just I can't buy into the hot start again.
No, I get it. I think for me it's the Guardians too, because I would have to say the American League Central looks like it'd be the easiest division to win. Arguably outside of the National League West. I mean, the National League West right now is the Dodgers. Everybody else is below 500. So I wouldn't say it's a terrible division, but it's a division that's lackluster. Let's put it that way. I already said so. I think the Guardians could win. It seems like right now Minnesota's struggling. They're having a very tough time in the East. They're off to a rough start. They're currently, I believe, they're in 4th place in the American League Central. You have Detroit and Kansas City. They're up and coming. Detroit's 7-4. They're a game and a half behind the Guardians right now for first place. A game and a half of the game, or a game and a half. They're currently a game and a half with the Tigers in 2nd place. Kansas City's in 3rd place right now at 6-4. But these are two young teams, and I kind of saw the youth, kind of the inexperience with the Tigers on Sunday when I did the alternative play-by-play with some fellow credheads. So I kind of see the inexperience with Detroit kind of creeping in. Kansas City is TBD, although I think they're another young team. It's on the rise. They give a ton of money to Bobby Witt Jr., so he's the future of the team. And let's face it, the White Sox, and again, this is no affront to our good buddy, the Snowman, who's currently watching. I mean, it's sports ball, ref ball, snowman ball. Not a shot at him, but he completely understands. We talked about it on Monday's edition of Coffee with McCarthy. The Red Sox are in a rebuild. The White Sox are in a rebuild. They're in a rebuild phase right now, so they're not going to be good for quite a few years. I'd probably say 2 or 3 next 3 seasons. They'll lose at least 100 games per season. So for the Guardians, it's their division to lose right now. As the Yankees, they're out with Baltimore. I don't trust Tampa Bay or Boston. Boston's got off to a pretty hot start. Orioles mentioned. Toronto is another team that it's still early for them. They just lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees, in fact. So that's going to be AL East is going to be a tough division. And you, I'm not quite sold on the Pirates yet because they're also in a tough division. Look at the standings in the 9-3. 6-3. Cubs are 6-4. Reds are 6-4. And the Cardinals are 5-6. So, I mean, we're in the second week of April. And it's too early to tell which one of these teams is going to be in the hunt. But because, like I said, like you said, I don't really trust the Pirates a whole lot right now. Looks are deceiving. They lost this afternoon to the Tigers. So I think the Guardians currently have the easiest path to their division. But again, we're only 2 weeks in. It's the second full week of the season currently, and it's anybody's division unless you're Miami or the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's one of the differences that I do like about baseball that differentiates itself. I mean, yes, the NBA season is long, the NHL season is long, the football season is shorter, much shorter by comparison, but nothing is longer than the baseball season. The baseball season is its own unique type of grind.
Oh, for sure. And I've always thought that the Major League Baseball season should be shortened to 154 games, just because the regular season is so long, and the postseason could go so long too. Now it goes into November.
Yeah,
and it seems, but we've got some hot teams out there. The Yankees have some batters who are really starting the season off well. Juan Soto,
yes.
He's having a great start. Anthony Volpe currently leads the American League with a 419 batting average. Saw him hit a home run last night. It went towards left center field. So, and Nestor Cortez had a nice bounce back game yesterday. Got his first win of the year. Had an 8-game, 2-hit shutout on 106 pitches. So he pitched very well. And Anthony Volpe, in addition to his bat, made some great plays in the field. Although I didn't see one of them because some dude was standing in my way while I was sitting down. I couldn't see the play. All of a sudden I heard, oh, I look at the replay on the big board. And it was a really nice play. If I couldn't see it live, but fan etiquette sucks. All right. Fan etiquette these days sucks. And I'm going to take it back in time a little bit. We're going to do a little Scooby-Doo action here. Take Take me back to 2011. I went to Chicago for a chaplains conference with Hockey Ministries International. At the time, I was doing the Hockey Ministries thing, and I stayed an extra night, and I took in a Blackhawks preseason game. Even during the preseason, if you had to go to the bathroom, get some concessions, that kind of thing. If you had gone to anywhere, if you left your seat, period, they would have attendants at the entrance of the arena stand there holding up a stop sign. It says, "No, stop, please stop. We wish we would kindly ask if you would remain here until play has stopped. Then you come back to your seat." I thought it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was the coolest thing. They didn't have it at the New Jersey Devils, the two New Jersey Devils games that we went to. Although the sight lines at the Rock, they were pretty nice. If you went to a section, you can still see the game. So kind of like how Yankee Stadium is built. But there is no such thing like that at Yankee Stadium, because I'm trying to watch the game, and maybe it's because of the seat I took an end seat. I like the aisle seat because it's just easier for me to get in and out. I hate bothering people when I get up from my seat and going someplace.
Yeah.
I like being a bookend. That's how it's the same thing I do in church too. But please, just think. And I know some people have kids who want to go back to their seat with their food because the kids want to go back to their seats because they got food or they got a souvenir. But at least wait until there's a break in the action somehow, whether it's between innings, between the next inning, like the next half inning. Just because I missed one play, I missed a couple plays last night where people are taking pictures of each other. People are trying to go to their seat in their row, and I'm having to do this, trying to peek around them. It's like, and when I got from my seat to get a beer or go to the bathroom, I waited to the end of the inning. I waited to the end of the inning or the half inning to go because I didn't want to bother anybody. I hate bothering people. I want people to have a great experience at the ballpark, and I don't want to ruin it for other people. I'm not trying to be a Pharisee and saying, oh, I wish more fans were like me, trying to be courteous and all, but just have a thought in your mind. It's like this, the game's going on. You don't have to get up from your seat or have to go to your seat right away. And I think part of it is the instant gratification thing because people people want to be there. They paid a lot of money for their seat. I paid a nice chunk of change for my seat because I had some money left over for my bonus, but for my work bonus. But it's like, can you just think before you act, right?
Yeah.
It could be. It's not just baseball. It's football. It's hockey. It's basketball. Whatever sporting event you're going to, wait until there's a break in the action, or wait till the half inning is over or the full inning is over before you go gallivanting off to get a beer or go to the bathroom or go to get a souvenir with your kids. Just please, fans, think, please.
Yeah, and you know what? I think you hit the nail on the head, and it stinks. It stinks when you go to a game like that and things like that happen. But I think you hit the nail on the head where it's not just baseball, it's not just sports. Period. I think, unfortunately. And I'm going to sound like an old man yelling at clouds here for a second, but I think, unfortunately, because everybody's got a camera in their hand 24/7, and because of our attention spans are getting shorter, and because of the way that, things like Twitter, everybody's got a platform, everybody's got a voice, there's a lot of positives associated with that. But one of the negatives is that people in general, myself included sometimes, have become more self-absorbed, and they just don't think about the people around them or the things around them that are going on at certain times. People are more concerned about getting a good picture on their phone, then maybe they're in
Oh.
somebody's way trying to take the picture. Maybe they're
let me tell you.
and people yeah, I was going to say maybe people just don't think, because I remember when we went to a game together, Ryan, there was a guy, we were out with the Bleacher Creatures, and there was a guy, when you went to take out your camera and take some awesome pictures, he was like, "Hey, do you want me to like move aside so you can get some pictures?" And you said, no need. I've got like an ultra zoom lens. And also, might I remind you, you took those pictures while they were warming up and in batting practice. You didn't take a lot of pictures during the game. You timed it,
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
people don't think like that anymore.
No, and there's one other thing. You mentioned the people taking pictures and taking selfies and whatnot. There was these 3 girls. I'd probably say high school to college age. I saw this one girl just standing in the middle of the aisle with her cell phone and her cell going like taking pictures like this.
Oh yeah,
that's one for the archives.
yeah.
So granted, I will say this. Granted, I'll give her credit where credit's due. She waited till the top of the 9th inning or to the bottom of the 8th inning when the game was pretty much over. Game was pretty much over at that point. The Yankees had add the extra point sometime ago, the extra point a couple of innings before. But like, just have some courtesy. Have some courtesy. I mean, yeah, granted, it's just I hate it. I hate I like going to the ballpark. I like going to places, doing experiences. But you're ruining the experience for others because you're being inconsiderate.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I don't want to sound like an old man shaking my fist at younger people, but I just think the overall message would be, and myself included sometimes, as I said, think about others around you sometimes. Don't get so absorbed in the moment. I quote the great Bill Nye the Science Guy, who was talking about the eclipse. He had made a video for everybody. He said, be in the moment, be present with those around you. Don't be so concerned with trying to take a picture with your phone of the eclipse. I know it's tempting. We've got them all in our pockets. They're a camera that's always there, but be present, be in the moment to witness this, historic event, the eclipse that we had yesterday. So, take a note from Bill Nye, everybody.
All right, so we've addressed teams off to a hot start. Now we're going to do something fun between the both of us. And I'll just explain it. But we're going to call this the Backstop Mendoza Line Challenge. And so, Dustin, since you're the catalyst to this, so why don't you explain how this came to be?
Oh well, I'll explain how I texted the sausage is made like this, everybody, and this is why Ryan and we're working together well here. So I'm at bowling last. Yeah, I'm at bowling last night. Monday nights, the bowling season is coming to an end. For those who are wondering, and my team, we are not going to win the league, and we'll leave it at that.
Oh.
But anyway, so I'm at bowling last night, and I'm waiting for to go up and throw a strike. Very rare. And I look up on TV, and I see Jose Trevino up to bat, and his average was 0.73 or 0.037. I can't remember which. But I looked up, and I jokingly, I texted Ryan. I said, Ryan, I've got our new Battle of the Bryans. And he said, oh, yeah? I said, yeah. How many games does it take Jose Trevino to hit the Mendoza line? Each of us guesses. Whoever gets closest gets the bag of coffee. And you said, but he's a catcher that doesn't really play every day. So why don't we make some modifications, to which you added you added the rules today to make it kind of like a survivor pool, and then we made some tweaks from there. So why don't you take over the explanation of the rules of this challenge. And once
All right.
again, a bag of Invader coffee is on the line.
Yes, it is. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Mendoza line, the way it goes is that the Mendoza line is a 200 batting average. So so let's do some math here. I'll try to math. So if you are a 2 for 10 hitter, if you hit 2 hits 10 at bats, it's 200, 20%, so it's 200. And it was famously named Mendoza by Mendoza. Bear with me just a moment here. So it was named after Mario Mendoza, who failed to reach 5 season. God bless him. Awesome. So it's jargon. It's basically jargon for a 200 batting average, which is the threshold for offensive futility, according to Wikipedia. So I decided to look at the Mendoza, who's under the Mendoza line for catchers in all of Major League Baseball. There are quite a few. There are 27 catchers currently under the Mendoza line. That includes illustrious names like the aforementioned Jose Trevino, who's currently hitting 0.071.
7-1. Okay.
So 0.7. So going off of Dustin's idea, I thought about it. Like, why don't we do like a survival pool? So let's take 3 current catchers, and we made some modifications. So let's see, we're going to monitor the average of these catchers who we select, and if any of these catchers goes over the Mendoza line, point made from contention, because eventually somebody go over the Mendoza line at some point during the season. So what we're doing is that we're taking catchers, and the caveat was we need catchers who have played at least 5 games, who have appeared or played in it or started in 5 games this season. And out of those catchers who appeared or played or started in 5 games this year, they played as many games as so, for example, Jose Trevino appeared in 5 games, or 5 games, and his counterpart Austin Wells has started or played in 8, and he's actually hitting so neither Yankee catcher is doing very, very well. So what we did, I said, all right, we're taking 3 catchers, current catchers who have played or appeared at least 5 games, and we're going to take these catchers, monitor. We're going to find out which one of these catchers doesn't go over the Mendoza line. So, Dustin, I'm going to start with you. Who would you pick first for your backstop Mendoza line challenge?
All right. So my number 1 pick with a bullet, and I was really afraid that you were going to take him. I didn't know how we were starting this thing off. I was like, are we going to do a coin flip? Are we going to be drafting live on the air? I didn't know. And then I got into our show doc, and I'm like, oh, he took one of the picks I wanted, because I was doing research at work. My boss almost caught me. I had to, when we came up with this idea, I'm like, I got to start doing some research. But my first overall pick is the Miami Marlins catcher, Christian Betancourt. Because you want to take a guess at what his average is? It's 0.00. He has an average of nothing. I think his OPS was like 0.91. He is hitless in I think 16 plate appearances, might be 19. I'm trying to I didn't write down how many plate appearances. I should have.
Oh, I got
But
the
it's
stats
a
in front of me. I got in front of me. 18 at bat, has 0 hits.
He's my number one. He's my number one. I hope he takes me to that bag of coffee.
Oh man.
Who do you have as your number one pick, sir?
All right. So my number one is Ryan Jeffers of the Minnesota Twins, who currently who's played 7 games, has 23 at bats, and has 2 hits for a whopping with a .087 batting average currently. This afternoon, he was at 0.091. Now he's at 0.087 with 1 at bat tonight. So he has 2 hits in 23 attempts. All right. I'm going to go with my second pick. My second pick is Cincinnati Reds catcher Luke Maile, who is currently batting 143. But if I look, he's batting 143. He's at 5 appearances, 14 at bats, 2 hits. So he's got a 143 batting average currently. Dustin, who's your number 2 pick?
My number 2 pick is, I might have to go to the document for this one. Oh, my number 2 pick is Martin Maldonado of Snowman Chicago White Sox. He is batting 111. So he's on the high end for my pick in this challenge, because I wanted Ryan Jeffers, but you were astute enough to nab him from my dirty clutches. So my number 2 pick again is from the Chicago White Sox. It's Martin Maldonado.
All right, so
Batting
he's actually
111.
hitting. He's actually now he's down to .095. He's
All
he's
right.
221 this year, so he's starting to take that dip. All right, and who's your number 3 pick?
All right, my number 3 pick. Oh, you're building the suspense for yourself here. I know the cred heads are on the edge of their seat with this one, but play along with us if you want to. Make bets amongst yourselves. Take my picks, Ryan's picks, bet a cup of coffee, bet something else. I am taking, and I'm sorry in advance, but I am taking Jake Rogers of the Detroit Tigers, batting 105 as of the time of my research. But it appears my research, except for Christian Betancourt, you can't go anywhere from 0. You can't go further down. But Jake Rogers, at the time of my research, he was batting 105. Detroit Tigers. Julie, please don't come after me.
Well, he went 1 for 4 today as DH and catcher, so he's now at a very stout 130 batting average.
Oh no, he's going to be the first off He's going to be the first off my board. Oh man.
All right, and my number 3 pick was 61. So I decided guy who's a little bit higher in the batting right now, but you never know with these catchers. He's certainly 5 for 31 as of this recording, hitting a very healthy Moreno of the Diamondbacks. So that is my number 3 pick. So you can follow along. I'm going to actually do my best to be diligent with keeping up on social media on both Instagram and Twitter, our progress throughout the season for the Backstop Mendoza Line Challenge, and we'll find out which catchers stay below that Mendoza line and which ones will eventually reach and maybe eclipse the 200 batting average. So feel free to join us. Put your catchers in the comments if you're watching live or watching on the replay. Who your 3 catchers will be for the Backstop Mendoza Line Challenge.
And now, Ryan, should we? Because I almost did Bo Naylor from Cleveland. Because when I saw that you picked a Bo, I was like, "We'll do the Battle of the Bows." But should we have a reserve catcher in case one of these guys goes out for injuries, or should that just be another criteria of them being knocked off of the survival pool? I guess.
Interesting case.
Oh, I missed that. I think I
No,
don't know. I'm having.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We're gonna do an auxiliary just in case. So,
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll put the list right now, and I'm gonna go with Yan Gomez.
Oh man, Yan Gomes was going to be my other guy. He was going to be my other guy. All right. You've got Yan Gomes. You've got Yan Gomes. I'm going to have to go with somebody that he's going to be the first off my board, and it's a shot at my fantasy team in a negative way, so you can't get the crows out. I'm going with Henry Davis of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I thought he was going to be a hot prospect. As of the time of my research, he was batting 133. But I was like, Davis is too close. What if he heats up? But is this a chess play for my fantasy squad? Am I picking Henry Davis on this list, hoping that he hears it and says, that bastard, I'm going to go on a tear. Yes. Feel free to start hitting Henry Davis. I'll take the hit.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. All right. So our last segment, we're going to keep this kind of short. I know Dustin's having some technical difficulties, or it could be me who's having technical difficulty, and I don't know. But we're going to talk a bit about this tweet that came out yesterday. And what happened was that apparently Juan Soto signed an autograph. There were some big mad people in the comment section of that tweet. I won't give the name of whoever said it, because I don't want to give him more fame that he already has. And he wrote, quote, "There's absolutely no place for this in baseball in some level of disrespect to the opponent. If you say, quote, he does it all the time, unquote, he shouldn't." Unquote. So I sent this tweet to Dustin, and I kind of want to get your thoughts. So what do you think about this? Is this disrespectful? Is this just something that's fun? Or is this disrespectful, or is this fan just being crusty?
All right. This is a show where we've agreed on a lot of things tonight so far, and we're going to continue because I feel like while I don't think that I necessarily would do it because I'm not coordinated enough, I'm not quick enough, I would be like, yeah, sure, I'll sign that, and then somebody would hit a line drive like right by me. I know it would happen. But Juan Soto didn't do this while somebody's swinging the bat and he's like, "Hey, I'll sign that." He waited for a pause in the game because guess what, everybody? There's commercial breaks, there's things, there's opportunities where maybe a player takes a timeout or whatever happens, and you're just out there in the field killing time. You got to stay focused on the game. But he signed the ball for that fan. He made that fan's night. I know that fan's going to remember that for the rest of their days. That fan is going to remember that. And baseball needs to have a little bit more of that fun edge, because honestly, fans like this, there's no place in the game of baseball. Fans like this are what keep people away. Baseball already has a hard enough time growing. It's been surpassed as America's pastime because of its refusal to update and modernize and appeal to a younger crowd. Also, there are some things that are out of baseball's control. A lot of young athletes aren't choosing baseball these days because the path, if you're a dual sport athlete and you're good at more than one sport, the path to get to the pros is faster in the NBA or the NFL than it is in baseball. Baseball has a rigorous minor league system that you have to work your way through. So that's part of it. But it's also game start times. They're later most times. So kids can't watch the game as much. But it's also things like this. Juan Soto did not do that at a key moment in the game. It wasn't like he did it in the middle, like I said, in the middle of somebody's swing. The attitudes of these people that get to decide there's no place for this in baseball. I mean, I'm going to kind of call it out, and I will call myself out a little bit here. When I was younger, my dad told me he never liked Ken Griffey Jr. because he felt like Ken Griffey Jr. did not have a respect for the game. And do you know where that stemmed from? Because Ken Griffey Jr. wore his hat backwards at the home run derby.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad saw that as a sign of disrespect to the game. And I agreed with him when I was a kid, partially because I probably wanted to be like my dad. Most young boys do when they're younger. They imitate their dad. They look up to their dad. They want to be like their dad. And I was no different. But as I got older, I'm like, he was at the home run derby. It's an exhibition. He was having fun. My thoughts changed on it. Griffey became one of my favorite players as I got older because it sounds twisted, but I respected him more as his body broke down because it was obvious he hit all those home runs and he wasn't taking steroids or doing any of the other things. And to this day, for a left-handed batter such as myself, Griffey had one of the sweetest swings out there. But the backwards hat, my thoughts on that evolved because I was like, wait a minute, it's not a big deal. And that's how I feel about this. This is not a big deal. It was done in fun. He's done it before. None of the other teams had a problem with it. This guy's just shouting from his Twitter mountaintop. And fans like this need to stop trying to shut other people out from the game and stop yucking other people's yum, to coin a popular phrase now.
Another one where we agree on things on this topic, and you know what? I see nothing wrong with it. I see nothing wrong with it as long as it's between pitches or it's between batters. Like if you see if a batter strikes out or grounds out, and the next batter's coming up because you got so much time between batters to get ready for the next batter. I wouldn't have minded. I wouldn't have minded at all. I don't mind it. I think part of the criticism here is because he's wearing a Yankees uniform, and because the Yankees are so buttoned down. No facial hair, no facial. Shave those sideburns, Mattingly. Shave those sideburns. It's the Yankees. It's buttoned down. It's on the level. Expect the Yankees. But apparently, he did this a lot when he was in Washington. Did this also when he was in San Diego. So it's not the first time he's been doing this. And apparently, your uncle's telling me I have audio issues. Oh boy! So the problem might be on my end. I might have to reboot during commercial. You have to take over for autopilot. Autopilot. Oh boy!
Oh man! Yeah. So the whole time I thought it was me. Oh.
No, it might be me. You know what? Let's take a quick commercial break. Then we'll come back to this. We'll take a quick commercial break. You might have to go solo for 2 seconds, but we'll take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we'll talk more about this subject. So stay tuned for more No Credentials Required.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
TGIF.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
And we're back, everybody. I have not had Righteous Felon jerky yet, but I am looking forward to it. I am going to order some. They've got a lot of flavors. I love the marketing on the package. I know, and the names, some of the names of these, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I know Ryan has had, he's had Righteous Felon beef jerky, and he just has nothing but great things to say about it. So go get yourself some Righteous Felon beef jerky and use the promo code. You won't be sad about it. And we went through it on last week's show because I made a joke about Slim Jims, and Macho Man Randy Savage. Big ups to you, Macho Man. But Ryan read off some of the ingredients in Slim Jim, and they were very scary. And I assure you that Righteous Felon has none of those things, none of those additives that you're used to seeing in all our foods now. Unfortunately, Righteous Felon just has righteous flavor. That's right. So go ahead and use the promo code and get yourself a nice snack to have while you're at the office, or maybe you decide to go on a hike. You need energy when you're on the trails, on the mountains. Get yourself some Righteous Felon. And yeah, I don't know. In the comments, reach out to me and let me know if you have a problem with what Juan. Yes, you can call us the Jerky Boys, although we might get in trouble for that one. We're not the first ones to use that name, obviously. But hey, Wise, how's it going tonight? Ryan is here. He was having some technical difficulties. Initially, I thought that the technical difficulties were on my end, but it might be audio issues on his end. So this is me solo in the seat for a while. For better or worse, I'm vamping. So hopefully it's not too bad. But yeah, join me in the chat and let me know. Before Ryan had to exit to reboot, we were talking about the Juan Soto. A gentleman tweeted at Juan Soto about Juan Soto because during last night's game he signed a autograph for a fan, and there was somebody on Twitter who was very mad about it, and he said there is no place for this in the game of baseball, and if you tell me that he did this all the time, he shouldn't. Welcome back, sir.
I'm big.
You're back. Man, I was vamping. I haven't done podcasting like where I had to vamp for a while in quite some time. And it was a bumpy ride there. But I talked about Righteous Felon in their righteous flavor. But anyway, glad to have you back. But I was just
I'm just about.
Oh no!
All I have left are the two. All I have left are two habanero sticks, and it appears my Wi-Fi is still being stupid. Hang on.
You sound better now, but initially when you came back in, it wasn't the best. But now it seems okay. But yes, I agree with you, Wise. Why shouldn't Soto sign autographs? He made that fan's night, as I was starting to say. And
Wise is here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hold on.
Wise is
here. Let's salute him.
We need the bumper.
Just salute him.
The following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
Fun. Nice.
Oh, man. I didn't catch I saw the smile, but I didn't catch what you said there. This is live, everybody. This is like the old tired analogy, and yes, I'm going to keep using it. This is like WCW Nitro. It's live.
Yeah, let me back on, come back in. Hang on, one more time. I'll do some fixing the equipment here. Hang on.
All right. Well, then let's engage in the chat. Ryan was starting to talk. Both he and I agree. This has been a show tonight. It's never a boring show. I always enjoy getting on and chopping it up. But Ryan and I have been agreeing on a lot of things tonight. Yeah, it could be the eclipse. You know, the world didn't end yesterday, but maybe our podcast is being punished here. But. Oh man, you were at Raw last night. The Raw after WrestleMania. That's pretty sweet. But I will say, I think this guy is just, he's too stuffy. It gives baseball fans a bad name. Elitist, makes him seem arrogant. Who cares if he signs an autograph during the game? It wasn't like he was doing it, like I said, at a clutch moment in the game. It was a pause. You could tell it was a pause between, and people didn't get on Manny Ramirez this bad for relieving himself between innings, reportedly, or not even between innings during the game. I mean, some people got on Manny, but then other people were like, "Oh, just Manny being Manny. It's hilarious." Ha ha ha. So I think you were on to something, Ryan. I think part of it is that Juan Soto has joined the New York Yankees, and he's under a bit more of a microscope now. Because I knew who Juan Soto was, and I knew how great of a player he was when he was in Washington and also San Diego. But I did not hear about this when he did this at his previous stops. I didn't, and not to say that one guy on Twitter is like the equivalent of the New York media, but I think the Yankees are a team that people love to hate, except if you're a fan of the Yankees. So that's part of the reason why, I think.
Yeah, and I found out in his profile. I went to this Twitter user's profile and his tweets. He's a Blue Jays fan, so that might have something to do with it.
Oh yeah. Not all Canadians are polite, huh?
Apparently not, eh? But yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, we had to quickly go to commercial break. I apologize to those who've been watching on with my modem and my laptop because of the issues I've been having. I'm not sure what's going on here. So, it's a shame. It's a shame. And yeah, like your uncle says, what a hoser. But here's the thing. All right, here's the thing. I have come to despise the uber vice baseball fan. Player needs to engage more with the fans, and the moment that he endeared, criticized, and it's not only baseball fans like this. I say fans in air quotes. It's not only fans like that who give baseball a bad name. It's also Major League Baseball, not growing the game, who are not growing the game. It's still technical difficulties. Son of a biscuit. Okay.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's chopping up again. I don't know. Something is against us tonight. Maybe it's the catchers all banding together because they heard that we were picking them based on their low batting averages and betting that they wouldn't hit the Mendoza line. But I don't know, with that 0.000 average or that 0.000 average, I think Christian Betancourt, get me that bag of coffee. I want it. I want it.
Yeah, something's happening tonight. I'm not sure what's going on with my modem. If it's my modem, it's my router, it's my laptop, the connection, the cable connection for the it goes to my my microphone and my camera. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're gonna Is it still happening?
Yeah, no, you're good right now, I think.
Okay. All right. All right.
Now you're good. Hopefully.
All right. We're gonna keep plugging it on. But yeah, like I said, it's these fans, these Major League Baseball
Man.
getting in their own way that doesn't grow the game. Like, stuff like this doesn't grow the game. And it's not helpful.
Yes. I agree with you completely. This is the Ryan and Dustin agree episode of No Credentials Required.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rock Chalk
man.
Jayhawk. Speaking of Jayhawks, we got a sound off on this Lynette Woodard, excuse me. Give you a little background on her. She was the top scorer in the NCAA in women's basketball Division I. She sounded off on Caitlin Clark breaking her record. I'm going to play that video. This is courtesy of the New York Post. And we're going to talk about it a little bit. And I'll give you some more background about who Lynette Woodard is. So let's take a look-see and let's find out what she said.
I am the hidden figure, but no longer now. My record was hidden from everyone for 43 years. 43 years. I don't think, I'll just go ahead and get the elephant out of the room. I don't think my record has been broken because you can't duplicate what you're not duplicating. And so unless you come with a men's basketball and a 2-point shot, hey, you know. But just for you, so you can understand, so you can help me spread that word.
Yeah. So I'll take a little background about Woodard. That's for context. She played at the University. She said she held the basketball score record for women's basketball for 43 years. All right, she is a legend. She won gold as a player with the United States in 1994 with the United States Olympics, and choppy again. Son of a biscuit. All right.
I'm almost wondering. Okay,
Yep.
this is live. You're getting a glimpse into it. Is there a noise gate setting on that? Because it's almost like it's cutting when your voice goes above. Okay, because it's almost like it's cutting out when your voice goes above a certain frequency. Like when you said, "I don't think so," I can hear. I heard everything. But then as soon as you start talking for any length of time, that's when it happens. So I don't know. It's a strange one. Maybe it's Lynette Woodard coming after us.
Yeah. Maybe it is.
We're about to let her have it.
So, legend. She was the first female to Harlem Globetrotters. At her retirement, Caitlin Clark broke her record during the 2024. To be fair, she was asked about the record, and she talked about it, and she basically said, as far as she's concerned, she's still a scoring champion. And she has walked back those comments. She said, I believe it was yesterday, or it was today. It was to clarify their more respects Caitlin Clark accomplished was invitation to participate on Caitlin's senior day. The message was a lot of statistical accomplishments, different eras. Each is a snapshot in time. Caitlin holds the record. And since I'm having some technical difficulties on my end, I'm not sure if it's the microphone or if it's me. But Dustin, let's have you sound. I'm gonna have you sound off on her remarks, and just give us your perspective.
All right. I didn't hear about this until you put this in the rundown. So that's full disclosure from me, okay? But my organic reaction is that this just, I can't help but think, and nothing against Lynette. Her accomplishments speak for themselves. She's done a lot for the game of basketball, not just women's basketball, basketball, period. Her stats speak for themselves. She is a legend, which is why when I'm about to say surprises, it's because this reeks of insecurity to me, Ryan. I don't know, like this reeks of insecurity and sour grapes to me. Records are made to be broken. They're going to be broken. Almost every record is going to be broken. There are certain ones that I don't think will be broken. We did an episode about that. Go back on the YouTube channel in the archives to check that out. But I don't think Joe DiMaggio's consecutive hit streak will be broken. I don't think I'm trying to think of one of the others. I don't think with the way pitching works nowadays, I don't think you're ever going to beat Cy Young's. I don't think you'll see another 300 game winner for pitchers. I think those days are done. But for the most part, records are made to be broken, and to me this just it's trying to inflate your own accomplishments, which don't need inflating. They speak for themselves. But why do you have to detract from Caitlin Clark to do that? Caitlin Clark broke your record fair and square. Wasn't like Caitlin Clark was like, throwing up some custom 4-point shots or anything to do it. She played within the parameters of the rules of the game at the time that she played it. There's nothing that she could do about some of the rule changes that you think benefits her. And the thing that cemented it for me, Ryan, is that you said that you brought up great examples of how gracious the Maris family was when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa broke the record respectively. You brought up other examples of it. You said Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yep. He was classy when his record was broken.
I'll talk about him. Yep.
Dan Marino. Yeah. So I just, I'm going to let you get your thoughts in, but to me, it reminds me of the 61 asterisk BS, because people were Babe Ruth purists back in the day. And you had Branch Rickey, I think, or no, who was the commissioner back then? He was trying to they had that asterisk put in because Babe Ruth, there were more games and all this BS. I would have to go back and rewatch the movie. I love that movie. We should put it on the list at some point for a no ticket required. But that's what this reeks of. Don't inflate your own accomplishments by taking away from what somebody else has done. Caitlin Clark is the new scoring champion. Be gracious. Your record stood for 43 years. You had a hell of a run. Your accomplishments don't need to be inflated. They are amazing on their own. Don't be so insecure about it.
Okay, so let me get to let me cook a little bit here. So
yeah, I'm gonna let you cook.
No, champion. Your record was broken. Like Dustin said, records are made to be broken. We touched briefly on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because of the point line, even though LeBron doesn't really attempt many three-pointers. No, he kept it classy. Same thing with Dan Marino. Was he upset when Drew Brees and then later Tom Brady broke his record? No. Was it his fault that the rules were changed to make it more of a passing game? No, they weren't. No, and he was classy too. We talked about the Maris family. Were they upset when McGwire broke Roger Maris' record? No. In fact, they embraced him. They wanted him to break the record. They were like, yeah, absolutely. Records are meant to be broken. Absolutely. Let him break the record. Little do we know there was a scandal going on with the whole steroids and andro thing.
Yeah.
We were all caught in that chase in 1990. All of us.
Oh yeah.
All of us were. between so Woodard should be happy. Caitlin brought so many eyes on the women's game. So many eyes on the women's game this year. I pay attention. I don't usually pay attention to women's basketball. I don't think you do either, Dustin. But we talked about Caitlin Clark during the year.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about her. We talked about the fact that she has brought so many people into their. She's brought the game to their attention, to national attention. You don't get that kind of attention. She carries this woman to the WNBA, and I know a lot of people out there, Snowman included, who are big women's basketball fans. I don't really pay attention, but now I'm curious to see what Caitlin Clark does in the WNBA, because I want to see her first star. The first star keeps rising, and she can get to the point, and she becomes so good to the point where she breaks records in the WNBA. We want to see that. We want to see. We want to see achievement. Why can't we see it? Why do we always have to? Why do we always have to bring down achievers? I hate it when we do that. I hate it when we bring down achievements in the United States, in this country. It's becoming more. It's becoming more and more of a thing these days. When somebody makes a big accomplishment, oh, this guy did it first. Oh, this guy was better at this. Like, there are different eras in sports. The 3-point line wasn't introduced until the 1987 season for the women. So yeah, you're going to have. There's going to be that debate of who's best, but it depends on the era. That's something that's lost on us, is that we have different eras in sports. I mean, Wayne Gretzky, it took Wayne Gretzky how many years to break Gordie Howe's record? Gordie Howe played in the NHL for like 6 decades. And he was the all-time leading scorer in hockey history until Wayne Gretzky broke both his points, goals, and assists record. Yeah, was he ungracious when Gretzky broke the record? No, he knew. He could see at a young age that Wayne Gretzky was gonna be a record breaker. So he recognized that at a young age. And Wayne Gretzky said, "Yeah, Gordie was my favorite player. I didn't want to wear number 9. That's why I wore number 99. I wanted to be my own player, but I idolized him growing up."
Mm-hmm.
So, we look at Caitlin Clark. We look at others have elevated women's basketball to a point where, even our podcast is paying attention.
Oh yeah,
like you couldn't say that. You couldn't say that back in the late 70s, early 80s.
No,
you had exceptional players, but we really didn't know about them until I think people started paying more attention to women's basketball in the 90s with the Tennessee teams and Pat Summitt. Gino Auriemma bringing UConn to prominence. Pat Summitt bringing the University of Tennessee to prominence, having all those titles between the both of them. That big rivalry in the 90s and 2000s. And South Carolina. I mean, look at what happened on Sunday. Look what happened this weekend with the men's and women's championship. Women's championship had over 4 million more viewers than the men's championship did. That's unprecedented. And there could be a number of factors here. Could it be the Caitlin Clark factor? Could it be the fact that South Carolina was going for a perfect season? Yes. Could it also be the fact that the game was on at 3 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon on ABC, and the men's final was a 9:20 tip-off on TBS? Also, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But go to our main point about Lynette Woodard sounding kind of ungrateful that, a lot of these athletes are starting to bring. I mean, was she upset when I'm trying to remember her name, Kelsey, I can't remember her name. She's played at University of Washington. I can't remember her name. She plays in the NBA now, but
is it Casey Plumlee?
No, not Casey Plumlee. Hang on.
Oh, okay. Real-time research going on.
Kelsey Plum.
Oh, Kelsey Plum.
Was she upset when she got close to her record? No, she wasn't. And she currently plays in the WNBA. She's one of the best scorers in the WNBA. So no, I mean, it just, we're going back to like the Juan Soto conversation. We have very, very, people get kind of crusty about records and how players should act. Now, when Caitlin Clark broke the record, she celebrated. She was very. It just seems like Caitlin Clark is she's very humble. She's very humble, and she's a lot of humility about her position. It's a big responsibility I wouldn't say carrying the women's game right now, but she's a big load on her shoulders with all the NIL and endorsements and whatnot. Now she's carrying it to the WNBA. It's going to be an even bigger responsibility on a bigger stage. And I think she appreciates being in the moment, and I think Woodard should also appreciate the fact that women's basketball has grown to be this big thing, and with Caitlin Clark having the season that she did, having the career that she did, bringing women's basketball to this point.
Yeah. It can only help. It can only help the game. Because I will say it, I was more invested in the women's tournament this year than the men's. I didn't really, I haphazardly threw together a bracket for our thing on the, our bracket for the men's, but
you finished last, by the way.
Oh yeah. It was real haphazardly.
Who finished first? Wonka the Sane finished first. He finished.
Oh,
first
Wonka, we got
the 4.
Oh man, we got to go.
him.
We got to give we got to get a little winners package together for Wonka. We'll have to convene about what that is. But yeah, I mean, I was just much more invested in the women's side of things this year, in part because of Caitlin Clark and Paige Buchers and Angel Reese. And, I could name off more players that interested me. And also the shots that were being made in some of these games. It was exciting to watch. And Wise brings up an excellent point in the chat, in the chat. Women's soccer right now, USA women's soccer is miles ahead of where the men's are. We're actually good in USA women's soccer. It's very entertaining, fun to watch.
Well, with the exception of this past Women's World Cup where they didn't make it out of the quarterfinal, but that's another story for the day.
Yeah.
But hey, women's, we're paying. Look, people want us to pay attention. People want to talk more about women's basketball, women's sports. Period. Guess what? We're talking about it. About it. I mean, I couldn't have ever seen the day where we talked about women's sports in general, because we don't really. It's not really on our radar. So, oh man, what a time! What a time to be alive.
Oh yeah. All
right. Before we get out of here, it's going to be kind of a bridge show, unlike last week's show. We're going to go to the comments real quick. Your Uncle Al says, "Old man old man yells at cloud." Yep.
Yes, that's been me tonight.
Our friend Sapna checking in. Sports ball. Wise saying hello, Dustin. He was asking where I was. I was rebooting things. So
you're gonna have a treat when you go back to edit this audio. You're gonna be like, man, I was vamping. I hope the people at Righteous Felon enjoy it.
Your Uncle Al asks us, can we call you the Jerky Boys?
Yes, that was during my beef jerky rants. I told him that there might be some legal action if we did that.
This is Frank Rizzo. Frank Rizzo here. Open your ears, jackass. Why saying that sucks? I was having issues. Yeah, I'm still kind of having issues on this side. I'm not sure what's going on. And he's asking about Juan Soto. Why shouldn't he sign autographs? Exactly. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. He was also at WWE Monday Night Raw last night. I got a picture from him. He and our other buddy, I'll have another friend of the show, Cool McCain, on talk about wrestling. I watched WrestleMania on Sunday. I gotta tell you, the main event, if you haven't checked it out, and like I said, I only really pay attention to wrestling for the big four events: WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series. A lot of alliteration with the WWE, but this main event on night 2 of WrestleMania, shenanigans. It was crazy. The last 10 minutes of this match was just crazy, and it was fun. It was fun. I'll put it that way.
A lot of people are calling it the best WrestleMania of all time, but I'll tell you, Ryan, I don't know if it can top the greatest wrestling moment of all time, and that is the appearance of the gobbledygook. No, he's second place for me. The appearance of the gobbledygooker at Survivor Series. You remember that big egg hatched?
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness!
That was Chavo Guerrero's dad.
Oh man!
The gobbledygooker was Chavo Guerrero's dad.
Oh,
yeah,
man. Disrespect.
Yeah, why saying leap those snobs? He's also saying he's flipping through NXT, Yankees baseball, and Knicks basketball. So Wise, let's get Wise back on the show. We gotta get Wise
we gotta have him on to talk to Knicks, man.
Sports. Yep.
Yeah.
And your Uncle Al says we should blame Otani's translator for my technical difficulties. So this is gonna be a treat to edit for sure.
Oh man, because the whole time I'm like, I hope it's just on my end, and so that he has clean audio. But oh boy.
Nah.
But yeah.
No, it's definitely on my end because I see a little on StreamYard that tells you about your Wi-Fi connection, your internet connection, and it's been bouncing around. So I don't know if I have to replace my modem or my router or both. It might be the time. So hopefully, we'll figure it out. So I noticed these issues on Sunday too. But anywho,
okay.
We powered through it, folks. We powered through another edition of No Credentials Required. Yeah, thanks for sticking with us so far. So just want to remind you on the way out, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at NoCredsREQ, Facebook.com, NoCredsREQ, YouTube.com/ at NoCredsREQ. On the podcast side, subscribe to the podcast on your preferred podcast platform. Leave us a rating. A 5-star rating would be great. Also, if you're on a platform where you can leave a review, please do so. We might even read it on the air. And if you're watching on replay, whether it's on Twitter, react to us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Engage with the show. We want your comments. That way people will know about this show and that it's out there. So thanks again for hanging with us tonight. For being patient on this edition of No Credentials Required. We'll be back on Saturday for a Sunday Brunch edition. I tentatively have Levac and Gaz from the
big get.
From the big get from the Albany Sports the Sports Drive leaders ratings leaders for the Albany Sports Drive, so for Albany Sports Drive Radio. But yeah, so that'll be Saturday afternoon. Hopefully my technical issues will be no more. But in the meantime, hanging in with us on No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We're presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Gozilla Media. For Dustin Henry, I'm Ryan McCarthy. Talk to you on Saturday morning for the Saturday brunch.
Good night, everybody.